Hi everyone, I'm going to be sharing with you this sweet little document folio, and this was inspired by a gentleman called the Gentleman Crafter. I found this blog, it was on Pinterest, and it looks like he's not active anymore, but he had the best Tim Holtz type blog, and I don't know the measurements what he did, and I took it and twisted it, but that's where my inspiration was from. You should check out the blog. So this is going to be single-sided. I did it on cardstock so that, you know, it's easier and more durable. But I have this sweet little pocket in the front, and you open it, and I loved, it just caught my eye because he had these things that looked like hardware to close your album, and I thought that was so neat. And here I have a little envelope, and he had an envelope on the side, and this side is a, you know, like kind of thicker document folder. So you do this and there's an envelope. Now his was really cool because you would like open it and it had another layer like of slots, and it had like another pocket or something inside, but I couldn't quite figure out how he did it, and I thought it would actually be interesting for a different tutorial. But the neat thing about this is you don't have to make it in a book. Like, let's say this gets a little too stuffed, you don't even have to put it in this cardstock. You can just do these individually, have this envelope like this or this document folder without putting it inside of this book. So it gives you lots of fun options, and it's really durable and nice. You can see that you have plenty of space here. And like I said, if you want this thicker, you can always like extend this, but it's up to you. So we're going to start off with a cardstock. Mine's 110-pound weight, and it's an 8.5 by 11, which is just the standard size. So I didn't have to cut mine or anything like that. Let me grab my scoreboard. Holy pollen, you guys. You guys getting all the pollen? Like, my ear is hurting. I think I'm having some sort of allergy thing going on. I usually don't get earaches, but it said it was like record-breaking yesterday in Georgia. I was like, oh, great. So, okay, at the 11-inch score, we're going to score it at 5 1/4 and 5 3/4. So 5 1/4 right here, which is going to kind of center this with a little score, and 5 3/4, which is right here. Oh my goodness, I almost made an extra line across my whole page. Okay, so there's that. Now this is easy because this is just going to be our basic, you know, cover. It took me a minute to kind of measure this all out for you guys. I had completed it, and I would just come to my desk and be like, all right, there's just kind of a lot of pieces, so you'll have to bear with me when we do this. It might be easier than I think. It was just probably assembling it on my own. Sometimes I want to pull my hair out behind the scene because I have all these steps. But when it's on video, it seems really easy and simple. All right, so there's that. It'll just look like this, and you could either leave it like this, or you can distress it a little bit, which I liked because this paper is so light. So I'm going to use the antique linen today, just to kind of distress the edges a little bit. You could even do it at the end, but you can corner around this or whatever, but I'm just going to do my edges just a bit. And I wanted to record this before the storm. There's a storm rolling in, and it's supposed to be pretty bad. So I'm glad I'm kind of doing this. I might even go back to the inking after I'm done. I just want to do basically the middle, because the middle is kind of out there here. So I'm just going to do this first. There's that. And I didn't do it too much, just a little bit, just to take off some of this part right here. And then this side as well, the outer side. And I'll probably come back to this. I'm just going to line it just a little bit. Okay. That's good for now. All right, so let's start with, let me see, how should I do this? I kind of did all mine backwards. So let's start with the cover and the back. So the front, the pages are going to be 8 1/4 by 5 inches. So we're going to put one in the front and then one here in the back. Now, I did not do mine originally this way. I ended up doing my cover last, so I'm kind of having to go backwards in my step. Now, I kept this on because, believe it or not, I ran out of this collection paper, and I actually liked how it looked. It ended up being just perfect for what I wanted it to look like. Because it gives it that little border right there and makes it look like a little book. But you see, I gave a little bit of edging, so you have a little bit of that extra edge. That's why I distressed mine, because you don't want it like right on top of it, or else it kind of looks weird if your measurements aren't right. It just has a little bit of a clean line on the outer side. So I started mine off like this, and then later on I ended up putting my pocket on. So that's why it's optional, because honestly, if you're doing your front pocket, you could take it and extend it and just score it and fold it if you have double-sided paper. But since this is a single-sided paper thing, it kind of works out. And I did distress my papers a little bit before I laid them down, but I actually forgot to do that. So do that before if you're distressing, like laying it down, because you want all these edges kind of distressed. So I'm just going to do that right now a little bit. My ink is definitely running low. I never get the refills. I should. I think it's wasteful that I don't. I end up buying a new thing. I'm just going to put that in. So if you want to leave it like this, you can. You don't really need another pocket. But if you want a little front pocket, it's just 3 by 8 1/4. So I've got this. I wasn't sure which side. I think I'm going to use this side and just distress it a little bit. Going back in here. And I'm just going to glue this on. It's really easy. I almost thought about putting a latch on the outside of this, but I was like, that might be too latchy. But if you do like that idea, you can do that. So let me glue this on. And this is larger, as you can see. I'm trying to keep it all inside of the camera because it is such a larger project. I usually do them a bit smaller. So if I'm kind of going up and down, you know why. Okay, and then you have your little front pocket right there. And you can make this thinner too. It just depends how much depth you want in your pocket. All right, so let's start with we're going to start with this one, the left side. Trying to keep this organized and sane. All right, actually, hold on. You know what, just to get out of the way, let's do these little things. This is just going to be 1/4 by 8 1/4 inch. So it's a tiny little quarter just to get the little slither thing in there, and that will be for the outside and the inside. I just want to get these small pieces off my desk because it's going to get a little messy with the other pieces. So put that on here, and as you can see, it was kind of hard to get this measurement in because it was so small. You could even make it a little bigger if you want. But I was like, that's fine. And then this part right here. So you make 2 of those. But this is definitely one of those assemble albums. Piece by piece. Okay, now we're going to do, like I said, sorry, we're going to do this side. Okay, so the left page. Okay, so let's see here what I got. Okay, so the left page is going to be 7 by 8 1/4 inches. And at the 7-inch score, we're going to score it at 5 inches. So this is going to be our lid. So right here is 5 inches. And it's going to go like this. So I did it so that this has a little background here. And where is my little hole punch? just going to do my little punch with my 1-inch punch here and give it that little edging so that it has that. I'm going to just distress this a little bit. Of course, I know some of you don't like to distress, and that's fine. You don't have to do that. But I feel like this paper just needed a little bit of that. So I did mine so that it goes like this. So you see, so you have your thing, and this is going, so you have a nice little solid background. You could even do it so that it's against your cardstock. You don't even need it, but I liked it because when you open it and you have this image. Otherwise, it'll be your cardstock. So that's why I did it that way. So it's going to go on like this. But before we do that, let's just put it aside because I want to do the front pocket piece. And that's really easy. It's just going to be a 4 1/4 by 9 1/4 paper. And we're just going to score it at 1/2 inch 3 times around. So 2 short sides, 1 long side. And I'll just do that with you. So just a 1/2 inch here. The long side, 1/2 inch. And then flip it again, the short side. And maybe another 1/2 inch. So you should have 3 lines. And I like to just cut that bottom corner out. This is going to be the back side, by the way. I'm just folding it so you can see the line because the blue is pretty vibrant. So then we're going to take that piece. So you're going to have that, and then we're going to glue it on here. And this is going to be our little envelope. And that's how we get those fun different patterns. Instead of course, you could take 1 sheet of paper and kind of fold it 3 times, but it would look so blah. So you want to kind of use different papers to kind of make your folio pop a little bit. But you could do either way. Like if you're in a rush, just use 1 sheet and just score it 3 times. So you get this envelope fold. Otherwise, especially if you have scraps or different collections you want to implement together, this is the perfect way to do that. Okay, and then you've got this. And so we can just pop that on, and that's how I get that side with the different pattern. And of course, you could add a little punch in there if you would like. I'm going to add my little, oh, that's not my punch, but I don't mind using this. Sometimes I use my little tab punch, or you could use the circle punch, whichever one. And then we can just glue this on. This is what I mean. You don't have to put this in that album. You can use it just like this. Just a fun way to use an envelope. So I'm going to glue this on all the way. You could even probably make another slip pocket on the side if you want. If you want like an open pocket, maybe on the top or on the side, you could do that too. So you have that. And we'll do the latches at the end so we can get this done. All right, so I've got a zillion sticky notes here. I should definitely be sponsored by Post-it with all the ones that I use. Okay, so number 2, this side right here, is going to be a 5 by 11 inch paper. Okay, and the 11-inch side, we're going to score it at 1/2 inch and 8 3/4 of an inch. So 1/2 inch right here and 8 3/4. All right, now I'm going to fold that. That's going to be our little lid. And this right here is going to be kind of where I just attach my bottom. So I did it this way because originally I was trying to figure out how he did his thing. He had like this fold and kind of had all these little sections. And I was originally going to do that, but instead I ended up making just the cover, and it worked out fine. So you can punch this or leave it. I had left mine, but I actually meant to punch it because I want it to match this. So I'm gonna just do that to match this side too. And I am going to distress it a little bit, even though my ink doesn't want to come out today. So we did our garden, and I've got 4 bins set up. Let's see what happens. And you know, we're still looking for the house. My husband's like, cool, we're gonna do all this and then gonna have to move it. That's what I hope. I'm not gonna be sad about that. So let me go ahead and, I don't know if I should assemble this or glue it on. I'm gonna glue it on first. But if you're not using I shouldn't have done that, you know why? Because I wanted you to see it separate. But like I said, you don't have to glue this on here. You can use it alone as a document folder. I just feel like it's easier for me to assemble this way. Okay, and because this paper is obviously so long already, we want to extend that to get that envelope. So the cover here is going to be 5 by 7.5 inches. Sorry, don't look at that part. 5 by 7.5 inches. And I'm just going to attach it right here. And that's going to be our little cover. So I'm going to glue it on here. You see how it opens? You could even leave it open, like a little fun flat flip. That's kind of just like going like this. But obviously I'm not doing that. I'm doing the sides. So this little bottom piece right here, that's if you want it to have just a little extra something. So just because it looks plain, I added that little thing. You could even make that another pocket if you want, but I just did it more for decoration. But we could just do it like a pocket for fun. Oh, I forgot to distress it a little bit. Just got time to do it before the glue dries. And we've got this, so we've got this little thing going on, and now we've got to do the sides. So the sides are going to be hold on, let me get all these out of the way. I'm actually surprised I'm not as confused because I have so many steps. So 2 by 7 inches, we're going to have 2 of them. All right, so 2 of these, and these are going to be our scores. So at the 2-inch score, we're going to score it at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1.5 inches. 1/2 inch, 1, and 1.5. We'll do it again. 2-inch score, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1.5. And we're just going to go back and forth with it. It's just going to be our little accordion thing on the side. It's going to look like that. And it really just, whatever side your paper you want it on, especially if it's single-sided, just use the pattern side. So it's going to be like that. And just like that, you should have like a little thing in the middle. A little mountain. All right, so I'm going to take mine and flip this down. And basically, we're just going to glue it on there at the very bottom score. So this is going to be my outside view. I'm just going to glue it down. I'm going to show you so you can see, especially if you're a newbie. It just should look like that. Make sure this is folding okay. And then we can do the other side. This is the easiest way I found to do it. Do it again on this side. Make sure your pattern's facing the outside. And just glue it on there. And just score this really well so it's easy for you when you're folding it. And I did leave a little space on the top on purpose So I'm just going to glue this again. And I push the bottom down here so that it folds. Really, really easy. And it should look like that when you're done. And you have this nice space inside. And like I said, you can use this as a regular document folder. You don't have to even glue it on here. It could just be a separate little thing. All right, so we got that. Now it's the easy part, these little closures. Now, the little closures, I'm gonna have two. So one is a 1/2 inch by 3 inches, which are these. These are 2 of them. And that's going to be this part right here. And the other part is going to be 1 by 3 inches. So I'm gonna have 2 of each. One of that and trying to get it, these 2. And I'm going to corner round it on the bottom of these. Now, this part can be a little bit of a pain. I'm using brads, but if you don't want to ruin your paper, there's like 2 different ways that I did this. So hold on, let me just grab some out of here. I'm just kind of grabbing whatever comes into my hand that match, of course. So let me just start with these darker ones. So obviously I didn't want to like destroy my paper. You can mark these and do it, but what I do is I like to do the top portion first. So, and kind of measure it out. So you want to do this and kind of just see where your paper is going to be. So I'm going to start with this one, and you could punch it through, okay? Or you can just do it and glue it on. It's really up to you. Like one of them I punched through, one of them I did the other way. So I'm going to, and I feel like it helps if you glue it on first. So kind of glue it on and then punch through. So your paper's not moving while you're trying to do this. Put this in the middle here. I'm trying to do it so you guys can see it. It's pretty self-explanatory, but just don't want you to mess up your paper. And then I'm going to punch it through. Now these are pretty sharp, but you can also tear up your paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pokey tool so I don't destroy on paper while I'm on with you guys. But I'm going to show you another way to do it too. So there's that one. And you could obviously mark it so that it's not uneven. I'm going to show you the other way to do it too. So there's that one. And then there's this one. And so that's simple. And then you have to put this down. So let me show you. I didn't want to destroy this. So I did this 2 ways. You could either make a little punch. And oh gosh, that was crooked. And add it on here. Sorry, it's going to be a crooked one. And put it through. I feel like this is the easier way if you do it properly, if you don't mess it up like I just did. But I should have drawn a line. Okay, and you could just like tape it or glue it on. I'm so sorry that it's so crooked. It's so not pretty. But I'm going to go ahead and just glue it right here. And it will stay on just fine, I promise. Because I did it with one of the pages. And do it this way. It's kind of cheating, but without destroying your paper. So, and you do have to hold it down because it's got that bracket and it's a little bit of a pain. So just let it dry like that. And I don't want to pull it out yet, but that will go in. And you can do the same thing to this one. It's really up to you which way you want to do it. I'm going to kind of do it the same way that I just did it. Put mine on here. And like like I said, the smart thing to do would be to draw where you want your little line or your little dots. So you have a goal, not just aiming anywhere like I do on my videos. But I'm just impatient like that, that's why. There's one. You could even do eyelets if it'll fit. There's that. And then I'm just going to add this one. And I'm going to aim for a hole with this one. I don't want to make it ugly on both sides. And do a little punch. This is a really tiny punch, as you can see. So my brads will not just like fall through it. But just two options you can do, or you can just stick it through your paper. But I like that it looks almost like hardware. Oh my goodness, did I just lose my brad? I did. I have no patience for this kind of stuff, you guys. That's why all my projects are quick. All right, so there's that. You can see just with my hands shaking that I don't like doing this kind of stuff. All right, there's that. Let me rephrase that. I don't like doing it on camera because I don't want to mess it up. Like I've gotten this far. I don't want to pierce through my paper. So you can see here, it just slips in and out. And it's nice and dry, so it's not going to come loose. Or you could even sew it. Just depends. Like before you assemble it, if you want to sew it on there, do that. That's just another fun idea. And remember, I created this fun little piece at the bottom, a little pocket. You can do that. I didn't do that on the first album, but I just want to show you that it's there. If you want that, just to see how it looks. If not, just glue that on there. And then you have your little pocket in the front. And I'm just going to add 2 little flowers and call it good. I wasn't sure how long this was going to take me to assemble, but I hope you guys like this one. Took me a good minute to make it. Oops, didn't need to do that. So I'm just putting a little flower here just to add some bling. And I'm just going to add something on the top. And I'm just using foam tape, you guys, for this part. So here it is, my little document folio. I wasn't sure what else to call it, but I just thought it was really cool, and I just love how it looks, and it's super durable. You could add receipts in here, pictures, send snail mail, I mean, tax receipts, whatever you want. Like, I'm only thinking of that because we have to do our taxes this week. So, and they're just so lovely. You can stack them up and organize them. I just think they're really fun, and I just love this tutorial. Hope you guys too, guys. Thanks so much.